You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. Well, we got a special treat for you. This was a Saturday Night Live skit back from 1978 with the incomparable Dan Aykroyd and giving Jimmy Carter's take on inflation. I think you'll appreciate it. Played it the other day, but we'll do it again. Here we go.
Inflation is our friend. For example, consider this. In the year 2000, if current trends continue, the average blue-collar annual wage in this country will be $568,000. Think what this inflated world of the future will mean. Most Americans will be millionaires. Everyone will feel like a big shot.
All right. Well, we have Debbie Bloyd on with us now. And you find Debbie at moneystrategieswithdebbie.com. So, Debbie, it seems to be that the Carter program has been resurrected by the current occupant or whoever is running the show in Washington. And it seems to be having great results, just like Jimmy Carter thought it would back in 1978.
Are you a millionaire yet, Kerry?
Hey, I'll tell you what, I love inflation because I've never made more money. And because everything is so expensive and it's so expensive to go places, I can't afford to go out and buy anything. So I'm saving more money than I ever have before in my life, Debbie. Isn't that great?
That's one way to think about it. Of course. Of course.
I mean, it's satire, but it's good satire. And I think that the current powers that be in Washington are as clueless about inflation as Jimmy Carter was then. I mean, I don't know if you remember, it was Gerald Ford. He had a button on that said, whip inflation now. So I'm going to see if we can get some of those buttons and give them out to you people out there. And then you had Jimmy with his fireside chats and his wearing the sweater because they turned down the heat in the White House and everyone was freezing.
Gotta save money.
Yeah. And all the government offices, everyone was freezing. I don't believe it for 2 seconds. But hey, this was the predecessor of virtue signaling. And now it's been brought to an art form, Debbie. But in the real world, which you and I inhabit, all of these decisions they're making in D.C. have consequences, right?
They do. Yeah, they do. Did you ever think, Kerry, that printing all that money and giving everybody all that help during COVID was a good idea? No. You gotta pay up sometime. The gravy train doesn't keep going. And what we're finding is the people that don't understand money and the economy are the ones that are complaining the most. If you own real estate, you're happy to have inflation because that means your properties are worth more now than they were 2-3 years ago. So you love that. If you're a homeowner, if you own a building, you get to have rent go up. It's wonderful. If you're on the other side of the coin, though, it's costing you more to live now than ever. So taxes are going to go up. Insurance is going to go up. And so is the cost of living. So is bread and milk and going out to dinner and everything else.
Talk about the cost of living, the cost of dying. This is one of the leading careers in America today. I was reading an article, mortuary sciences, as they call it, or as we used to call it, being an undertaker.
There you go.
And they're making big money. The cost of funerals is going up. The number of funerals, for whatever reason, we don't want to speculate because powers that be, our digital overlords, don't want us to talk about it. But you know what I'm saying? The number of deaths, excess deaths, as they call them, is up. So, hey, maybe the best thing is to buy land and build a cemetery and a crematorium.
I guess so. Everything is costing more. And what we're finding is a lot of people have not done a very good job saving for retirement, Kerry. They thought they would not need to spend as much money. And the studies show just the opposite. Statistics show that, you may not be taking trips right now. You may not be covering the globe with travel, but maybe you're going to the doctor more now. Maybe your medications are costing more. So you're still spending money in retirement, just probably not the way you thought you would spend it. And it goes very fast when you're not getting new money coming in. So we have a lot of people right now struggling on that, quote, fixed income from Social Security.
Yes. So fixed incomes, if you're on a fixed income, you really get screwed. I mean, the nerve of the White House, they put out a press release saying, we're responsible for giving seniors the largest Social Security payout boost, increase.
So how much percentage was that? I mean, like if inflation's up 11%.
8.5%, but they had nothing to do with it because there's a thing called the COLA adjustment, cost of living adjustment. And
it's already built
in the law. Yeah. So all they did was sign the checks.
They just want to take credit for it. This country is still reeling from being shut down a couple years ago, which was, I'm in Texas, so we didn't shut down like a lot of states did. I kept working and rates were at their lowest. I was refinancing homes as fast as I could, doing 20 and 30 transactions a month, just as one person. So I kept going. A lot of people didn't. Restaurants shut down, companies, healthcare went overtime. And there's ramifications for shutting down shipping and supplies and plants. We're still feeling those shocks. And it's going to take a while to come out of that. You couple that with everything costing more now, because I don't know if you want to ever replay our interviews from last year. I said, and I said this a lot and people thought I was crazy. Interest rates were going to, at that time, they were like 4.5. And people were freaking out that they had gotten up to 4.5. And I said, they're going to be over 7 by the end of next year. Nobody thought I was correct. I said inflation would be over 8%. They're like, no way that's going to happen. I was too low on both of them. Rates today are 7. They've been up to 7.7. They're hovering down to 7.25. That's crazy. It's almost double what it was last year. So my people that were trying to buy houses that could not compete against 200 people going way above asking price, they're like, we'll just wait it out. We'll wait till next year. We'll lease. We'll rent something for a year. Well, now they're out looking for houses. Instead of buying a $900,000 house, they're down to $600,000 because they're paying 7.5% in interest now. Big difference.
So, but flip side is you're also seeing price cuts on houses.
We are.
Bidding wars seem to be a thing of the past, huh?
Yeah, well, there's no more bidding wars because a lot of people did buy houses and the other people decided they were going to rent, and they're not out of that renting cycle yet. You rent for a year usually and they're not out. And then with these rates, I think a lot of people, they do not believe us because in the mortgage business, we've already gotten intel and all the economists talk that, next year the rates are going to go up one more time. At least the Fed's going to raise rates until they can quiet down inflation. Well, so what is rates going to be at 8% next year? There's not going to be people buying homes unless they have the money to spare. And most people are getting nervous and they don't have the money to spare. They keep thinking that they're going to wait till the price drops, till the interest rates drop, till housing prices go back. But my thing is, go back to what? This is the new normal, right? I mean, do you think your house is going to be worth $300,000 less in the next 2 years? No. Everything's higher now.
Yeah, obviously, once you're on the inflationary bandwagon, very hard to get off. Our last inflation cycle started, Debbie, during the Vietnam War. We had this policy of guns and butter, and we could have the Vietnam War and still have normal life. And that meant printing up dollars, taking us off the gold standard, all these things. That cycle lasted into the 80s. And I could argue, well, in the 50s, the inflation wasn't as bad, but it was starting. So 30, 40-year inflationary cycles. If you think this one's going away, the only way it goes away is if the Fed is, in its finite wisdom, manages to trigger a deflationary depression, in which case you could kiss all your banks goodbye. We'll be back. If they create an inflationary depression, the same result. The banks go, the currency goes, a deflationary depression. They get to keep the currency, but everything else implodes around it. So that's, I wish I had more faith in the people who were supposedly running the show.
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Osino Resources is a Ross Beatty-backed gold exploration company in mining-friendly Namibia. Osino's district-scale land package is situated near 2 producing gold mines, one of which Osino's management team previously developed and sold to B2 Gold. Osino's founders and management are experienced mining professionals who have already successfully developed and sold 2 companies in the past 7 years. Osino has an excellent shareholder base with Ross Beatty owning 20%, insiders 5%, and Resource Capital Funds 8%. This is an exploration company with drills turning that you'll definitely want to pay attention to. Osino trades in New York under the ticker OSIIF and in Toronto under the ticker OSI. To learn more, go to osinoresources.com. That's osinoresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
Yeah, they're all of us are kind of in their hands at this point, and it's not a good place to be because you can't buy. A lot of places are trying to buy cars. Cars are gotten very expensive. We've got a shortage of parts that make used cars more profitable. So we've got people trading in cars. No, not everybody's buying everything at an increased price, but some people, are still living the lifestyle. You can get on Instagram, Kerry, and everybody's got new stuff. Get on TikTok, and there's all the latest clothes and all the latest everything. But that's not normal. That's not the normal world. I don't see people living that extravagant life in my day-to-day doing their mortgages. They're just getting by. And the people that were making $300,000 or $400,000, that's not stretching very far for their family. So it's all relative because they have gotten their standards of living up to that. So everybody spends what they make, and we really need to conserve our money right now.
Hey, $1 million isn't what it used to be, Debbie.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I think housing markets are going to calm down. The people that are going to move, Kerry, are the people that need to move. If you're sitting in a 2% interest rate on a house, you're not going to move unless you have to. You're going to keep that because if not, you're going to triple that interest rate just by moving. So I think a lot of people are going to sit still for the next couple of years while we wade through this.
Hey, well, I wish I could say I was surprised by it all, but I told you last year I raced to find a house because I knew this was going to happen.
I did too. Yeah, got a new house.
The prices were going to skyrocket. Yeah.
Yeah, what we're going to see is a lot of seniors are going to start doing more reverses now because they're going to have to tap into the equity they have in their homes. It was the saying that you pay off your home, everything is great. That was the American dream. But you still have to pay taxes and insurance on that house. And with your stagnant Social Security money, maybe your pensions are running out. Cost of living is higher. You're going to need more to get by every month. I'm doing more reverse mortgages all the time. It's just a mindset change. That's the only thing they have yet left to tap into.
Okay, I like that. So the new American dream isn't paying off your mortgage. It's getting a reverse mortgage, right?
Well, it's leveraging the money that you have. So you need to put that money to work for you. When it sits in the equity in your home, it doesn't gain anything. So you need to keep, so when people say, do I need to put 20% down or 40% down in a house or 30% or whatever, it's like, if you can put your money into an investment that makes more than your mortgage, do that and pay less down on your mortgage because you've got to keep that money working for you. You don't want it to sit there stagnant in the equity in your home.
All right. So now though, you remember like the American dream used to be paying off your mortgage after 30 years. And then you would have this thing called a mortgage burning party.
Yeah. And
now the American dream is to take out a reverse mortgage and stiff your heirs. Right?
Well, yeah, it is a way. So this is the thing. And a lot of people have that exact result that you just said, Kerry, is stiff your heirs. The problem is, are your heirs willing to pay the extra $200 for your medication every month if you don't leverage your house? So if your parents are barely getting by and they need an extra $500, are all the kids pitching in? And that's how families used to take care of themselves. Anymore, the kids are strapped too, and they don't want to pay an extra $500 for mom and dad. So mom and dad have to take on that burden themselves. The kids get less, but the parents get to live on something better than cat food.
Hey,
or they do less on their medications. They take less pills.
These people take better care of their animals than they take of themselves, you know?
True.
That's a whole nother thing. So Texas, people are still moving there though, right?
Oh, yeah. So you're wanting to get out of those high dollar states that create more taxes for you. So we're still seeing, I mean, we do have things for sale. Just this last weekend, I was out talking to agents in homes, and we probably have about 49 homes that had open houses this last weekend, 800,000 or above. But they're going fast. You know, when you have that kind of inventory, and that's not a lot of inventory, Kerry, even though it sounds like it. The school districts here are really good. People want to move here to save money. So if you're moving from a California or Chicago or New York, where real estate is more expensive, Washington State, this is a bargain. People move here and they're like, this is a bargain compared to where we're from. So it's all relative. Real estate is all relative.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, people come to Florida from New York, and they can't believe how cheap everything is, although it's not as cheap as it once was because of all those New Yorkers coming here, getting up the prices of everything.
Sure.
But, you know. All right. So what's your forecast? The Fed going to pivot at some point? And will it
not for a while? So the economists that I hear, they're talking that the Fed is going to raise the rates again next year, at least one more time. I think all we're getting is the next 3 or 4 months. So the rates are going to go back up. I mean, they take temporary dips, but they're going to go up. They're going to stay this way. This isn't changing in the next 6-8 months, I don't believe. So you hold on to what you have. You kind of hunker down where you're at. If you're renting, rent's gone up, but then turn into a home buyer. I'm like, home buying is still a better option than giving your rent to some other landlord, unless you're the landlord and then you want to have renters. But, you know, Kerry, there's always going to be people that can't come up with the down payment. Even though we have 100% financing for some people with good credit, they're not going to take advantage of that because the rates are higher. You know, I have a couple that are buying a $3.5 million home on a bank statement loan. They've been building it for 2.5 years now. So when they started, the interest rate was 5%. They're now, Kerry, looking at closing in December at 11%.
Oh, my God.
They're building a $3.5 million home.
Oh, that could ruin your day.
That could ruin your day. They have really had to brace for those prices. So does that mean you have to change the way you're thinking about money and finances? Yes. I think we're going to need to hunker down for a few months. I don't think this is going away. And we're going to have to get used to the idea that things are going to keep costing more. Everybody's going to have to get a side hustle or do with less.
All right. See an Uber in your future, Debbie. Yeah. Well, hey.
Private DoorDash, whatever it takes.
DoorDash, chow hounds, whatever it is, right?
Doesn't matter. We'll do it. Yeah. Got to keep paying those bills. Thank you so much for having me today, but brace for the worst.
All right.
It's still coming.
Appreciate it. Hey, where do we find you? Best place to connect with you on the web?
You know, you can find me. I'm on TikTok a lot, and a lot of people find me on TikTok now under the Dollar Diva. But my website is Money Strategies with Debbie, and you can go there and find a lot of my podcasts, and you can message me from there. I really appreciate being here today. So get on TikTok, get on Instagram, and I'm there talking about money and finances.
Love it. All right. Hey, you've got a question for Deb? Shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Make sure you sign up for your free newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Deb, we'll talk to you next month. Be well.
Got it. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.